After World War I, Canada was led into depression and many suffered drastically. It was not until the beginning of World War II that the economy improved. Manufacturers were using more advanced technologies to provide needs in production. Such increase of goods improved sales and there were high demands for it. As a result, this led to an overproduction and inflation of materials. But promising looks for Canada allowed Prime Minister Mackenzie King to break off ties with the British colony and become an independent country. It was an important time for Canada as Germany was beginning to cause chaos in Europe. War was being declared on Germany by Canada after Germany's invasion into Poland. This brought France and Britain into the war as they tried to defend against Germany's raid. Canada, to celebrate its independence, made its own decisions to join the war with Britain when needed. Many men volunteered themselves in the war to show Canada's independence and bravery as its own country. In fact, conscription was not used in World War II to force men to participate in the war against Germany, until later when Mackenzie King broke the agreement to the Parliament and the citizens of Quebec. This conscription was to ensure the trust of the people in Canada that they would stand by their country's side when help was needed. As Europe began their attempt to colonize many countries, battles had been the result of Hitler's reign for power. In the Battle of Britain, Hitler was determined to destroy Britain's air power, so a surprise attack was initiated. However, Germany ended in defeat due to Britain's advanced technology of radar systems. In the end, Britain won the battle but lost over 23,000 people during the Blitz accident, which was the bombing and destroying of the city. As the war continued, Canada's government began to involve manufacturers to begin making products for the war. This action was called Total War. The business owners would produce mass products of planes, military vehicles, and ammunition. Those who were unable to fight participated in factories to help as well. Women were in high demand. In World War II, they would be used to take over men positions in jobs, but also positions as fighters in war. In World War II, not only does men participate in battles, but women play a great part in it as well. Though women were enrolled in cadet corps, they were never able to fly planes until further on. For a majority of the time, their skills were used as nurses to treat the injured. Some women were great pilots and some drove planes in the war as snipers. In Canada, many different ethnic groups participated in the war. However, after the bombing of Pearl Harbor, the Japanese Canadians were put into internment camps as they were suspected to be spies. They were arrested and treated harshly by the police that resulted in many family separations. This was similar to the Jews during the Holocaust. As the desire for power continued, he began to exclude certain religious beliefs. These people were called the Jews. They were blamed for the riches and wealthy lifestyles by the Germans during the Depression. By allowing Hitler to be their leader, the Germans began targeting the Jews as an excuse for their wrongs. The Nazis encouraged them to destroy Jewish businesses and properties and thus began the stripping of their identity. With no countries opposing their plans, Hitler was able to commit countless mass murders. In order to succeed his goal, Hitler developed the final solution, which was the method of killing many people at a time in gas chambers. In the concentration camps, families were separated and many were killed immediately of their weak states and poor conditions. Although some were devastated, they still continued to practice their beliefs. The Jews were branded and numbered, and this dehumanized them to a great extent. In order to end Europe's reign in power, the Allies launched an invasion of Europe. They were well equipped with massive air and naval support. This gave them an advantage against the Germans. It took months for the Allies to advance through Europe, and it was not until the Soviet Union joined that the Germans surrendered and Hitler committed suicide.